And without further ado, I want to roll to our next guest speaker. I'm excited to hear him talk because he and I have been talking for the past few weeks, a little bit more than we normally do because he had a goal last month. He had not only a goal, but he had an objective, and there was something that he wanted to get accomplished, and my goodness gracious, did he. Right under 28,000 in submitted premium last month, took the #1 spot, and he continues to amaze everyone here at the home office. Mr. James Irwin, he wants to talk about the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separate. I'm excited to get Mr. James Irwin unmuted. James, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. Thanks for taking the time to jump on the call today.
Thank you, Chase. Thanks for having me. Tell you, I'm really excited about whenever I get an opportunity just to share some information and to try to help as many others as I can. And I have some information I really like to share that I kind of wish that someone would have shared it with me, when I came aboard. And it's some information that I've used to help me, and I think it may help a few others. Okay, I thought about my month I had last month, and I had to stop for a minute and just really kind of evaluate myself, and I really wanted to see where my business was coming from. Okay, and what actually. So I had a meeting, and I'm going to discuss about 4 key ways that I use to help me have a really great month last month. I think others can use this information as well. And I had to have a meeting, and that meeting was with me, myself, and I. Sometimes you have to have a meeting with that person in the mirror. You have to decide with yourself that I was tired of losing. And I hate losing better than I love winning. I know it sounds kind of funny, but when I sit down with that meeting, I knew that I better write this down, because I've heard over the years that when you write your goals down, and you can kind of hold yourself accountable once you write it down and just keep it in front of you. And I sit down and I decided, I said, well, the next 30 days, I'm going to set a goal for about $25,000 in premium. And not only that, but I want to do about 40 apps for the month. And I wrote that down, and I wanted to hold myself accountable. And what I came up with was that you should never, I just want to start by saying, you should never be afraid to close your eyes and dream, and then open your eyes to see. And that is so important. Because when you open your eyes and see, you have to figure out a way that you can accomplish your goal without giving up, just giving everything you got. And I took 4 areas that I think that's very helpful. And I looked at myself, and I realized that I had 4 areas. I said, let's see, this is where my business is coming from. Let's see. Number 1 was knocking doors. Taking the lead and just out and just going all out and just knocking. And the second area came from appointment setting. We all are either we calling ourselves and doing appointments, or either we hire an appointment setter. And I took a look at a third way that I generate my business was referrals. And when I think about it, I kind of look at myself, and I had to think about how many referrals I actually get. And I added a 4th column, which this is something that a lot of time when we're out working and there's nobody really looking, when you're working by yourself. And you have to just keep going. And if you work hard enough, believe it or not, everyone will see, because they'll be able to see that you were out and you was making things happen. That 3rd column is one that we kind of overlook. It's kind of like, I know you guys heard about one speaker saying, heads and shoulders and toes and stuff like that. But I want to talk about Jack and Jill went up the hill. Your business can actually be kind of like going up a hill to catch a pail of water with holes in it. Because if the business is coming off, by the time you get at the top of the hill, you know, you have what they call chargebacks, and chargebacks hurt. It takes away from future commission before you ever get another dime. You have to satisfy those chargebacks. So when I looked at myself, I realized that 100% of the business that I was writing was actually coming from business when I go out and knock doors and maybe gain an appointment or two from knocking doors. 100%. And these areas had very little to nothing. And I thought about that, and I thought about how can I help some other agents? What can I say to help a few other agents? And I kind of took a look at, and I really feel like a lot of agents, if you take those 4 different areas, a lot of agents I've seen spend 100% of their time either calling themselves or using an appointment setter. And they literally actually live and die by it. You know, not all appointment setters are really that great. You have some that's better than others, but average appointment setters, in most cases, have never sold anything, and you know they get to call in your leads and require you to make sure that you give them 15, 20 leads, and they call through your leads within a couple of days, and they say they're done. They called everybody, set 2, 3 appointments, and it literally, I've seen guys literally put themselves out of business. And I took a look at that, and I stepped back, and I realized, you know what? Not only I'm going to have a meeting with me, myself, and I need to have a meeting with my appointment setter. And I got really tough and firm with my appointment setter, and I asked them to stop for a moment. We're going to go over each and every lead that I gave you the last 3 weeks. And what I found out is that a lot of leads that they said that they called, that they didn't want it anymore, or they hung up, that they didn't remember filling out the card, and they called and only got a voicemail, and they keep calling, and someone else answers the phone and said, you know, call them back. And I realized within 3 weeks I had about 30 leads that's never been touched. And here I am, you know, ordering leads and increasing my orders, trying to keep leads in my appointment setter's hands, and you know, because you know, hey, look, I mean that's the way to go. I've heard agents that's all they do is they got this great appointment setter set them 10, 15, 20, sometimes 5, 10, 15 appointments a week, you know. And so I really wanted to make that happen. Well, what I thought about was that, hey, I need more than this. And when I decided that I'm going to do a little bit different, I'm going to make some changes, okay? So I took those leads back, and I added to my leads this week, and I said, you know what? Next week, I'm going to give that appointment setter 10 leads instead of 20, and I'm going to give her 10 leads that she said she tried calling, and I'm going to keep the rest, and I'm going to go out, and I'm going to see what happens. And what I found out is that when I went out, I found out that, yes, people, sometimes they don't always tell you the truth. You know, sometimes you meet people that say that they bought, and you may have caught them at a bad time, and they kind of blow you off when you go out, or they tell you something that you know that's really not true. I found out that well, maybe this is why a lot of people don't really like knocking doors. I mean, maybe they don't knock doors because maybe they're wondering, well, will I make a mistake? Yes. I mean, will it be hard? Yes. Is it easy? No. But if you're having problems, some of the biggest problem that we have is the fear. I think we have fear of just pain, the fear of rejection, the fear of no, the fear of failure, the fear of defeat, the fear of just losing money, the disappointment and going upstairs and downstairs, and the people are not home, and it just makes it seem like it's just too much pain. And what I realize is that there is no gain without pain. You know, maybe some of the things that people that stop agents from wanting to knock doors, you know, it's a lot of it can be a mindset. You know, One guy once said, I heard the guy said, he that says he can't and he that says he can, they're both are right. Believe it or not, they both are right. And so a lot of that can relate to this business, can actually be our mindset. And we can have to work on aligning ourselves with the right people and kind of involving ourselves in information that's free that can help us build our mindset up to where, you know, that a lot of these things that come up, that stuff like maybe that stop me from knocking doors is maybe it's too cold some days. Well, you know, you can just get a coat. Maybe it's rainy. I heard rain's coming this week. You said, well, you can just get an umbrella. Maybe they don't have a reliable car and they're burning too much gas and it's too hot out there and the air doesn't work. Well, you know, you can rent a car and you can rent any car you want. You can get a brand new car for a few $100s on a credit card and $100 or so a week, and now you solve the problem. Many people don't know. I went 2 years without a car to work in. I used to rent a car. I got frequent miles and discounts from renting cars so much, and I was able to overcome some of those objections that caused a lot of people to throw in the towel, you know. And the thing that really, when I look back at the end of the month, and I don't want to hold you guys long, but I went back and looked at these numbers again, and I looked at the first column that I talked about, and this is just myself, and I realized that 24 apps that I submitted last month came from knocking doors, which was $11,799. And the second column was appointments. I mean, these are applications that were set by appointment setter, and I actually was able to submit 7 applications for $3,676. But you know where I was most impressed by that I saw an increase was this third column, and it was actually referrals. Out of 52 applications, I submitted 21 applications came from referrals. $12,778 actually came from referrals. That means every other person that I was sitting down with, I was asking for a referral. It ended up with $28,000, you know, for the month and 52 applications. I mean, and that's where I was really most impressed with the increase. And that's what made me think about it. When you're knocking doors, you know, you really are just hustling, really. And I really thought about, that's what I came up with, the dream. It's okay to dream. I mean, the dreams are free, you know, and if we could just not talk ourselves out of it and keep our minds focused, the hustle is what's so separate. Okay? And that's my time. I don't want to keep you guys. I know you got a lot of appointments, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Chase.
Thank you so much, James. I love having you on the call. I hate bugging you about doing a call because I know that takes you away from running appointments and knocking on doors, but absolutely love having you on the call each and every time. Very, very excited for what you got going on this month because I know you've raised the bar for yourself, like you said, in terms of what your goals are. But you know, when you were talking, Matt just started shaking his head, and we were all kind of in amazement of what you just said there towards the end. You kind of brought that whole message full circle there with, you know, $12,000 in submitted premium from just referrals. And so I'll throw out there to you guys, and Matt made the comment, if you're not asking for referrals, I know most of you guys do, but $12,000 submitted premium out of the almost $30,000 you did last month, $12,000 was off of referrals. Absolutely fantastic. Appreciate you jumping on the call, James. Love having you as always.